Hi everybody, and you're very welcome to our Los Angeles English School YouTube channel. I'm Helen, and in today's video we're going to cover the whole speaking section for your TOEFL exam. If you are preparing for your TOEFL exam, make sure to be prepared for this lesson. Take a copybook or just grab a sheet of paper and have a pen or a pencil so that you can actually take notes and imagine that this is a real exam and you are actually taking this test. I have recently created another video. This is part number 2. In part number 1, there was a similar speaking test, and if you haven't watched the previous video, you can find the shortcut for the video at the end of this one. Also, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, of course, if you'd like to get notified of all our upcoming videos. Alright, so get ready and actually let's get down to the real test. Let's begin.
In this question, you'll be asked to give your opinion about a familiar topic. After you hear the question, you will have 15 seconds to prepare your response and 45 seconds to speak. Some jobs require employees to do a lot of traveling or moving to other places. Other jobs require employees to come to the same workplace every day. Which kind of job would you prefer and why? Include details and examples in your explanation. You may begin to prepare your response after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
While some may prefer to travel or move a lot for their jobs, I would definitely choose having an opportunity to always come to the same workplace. The main reason why I think so is that it's essential for me to stay calm and focused, and if I were to travel from place to place, it would give me a sense of confusion and disorder. Another thing is that I find having to rush around pretty exhausting and nerve-wracking. I'm sure my efficiency would suffer because of this. So, in a nutshell, I would rather go to the same office every day because I would feel safe and it would help me to stay focused and confident and would save my energy.
Please listen carefully. In this question, you will read a short passage about a campus situation and then listen to a conversation on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the conversation. After you hear the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. The Geology Department has a summer program. Read the announcement about the program that is being offered. You will have 45 seconds to read the announcement. Begin reading now. Now listen to two students as they discuss the announcement.
I'd sure like to attend the summer program. I could use some experience in the field.
So could I. Those lab experiments we do, well, they aren't enough, are they? You know, to get a feel for what a geologist really has to do?
No, they aren't. Jim went last year, and he said the lectures are more interesting because they're kind of hands-on, you know? With the fossils right there on the ground in front of you, where they've been for millions of years, and the professor explaining what the terrain of the site tells you about them.
It makes a difference. Finding the fossils instead of getting them out of the box in the lab.
Yeah, and in the lab work there, you're actually working on the same fossils that you found.
Right.
Oh, they also mapped the region, showing all the geological strata and everything. I'd like that experience too. Hey, are you going to come over to the geology department and find out more?
Yeah, why not?
The woman expresses her opinion of the summer program offered by the geology department. State her opinion and explain the reasons she gives for that opinion. You may begin to prepare your response after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
The main point of the announcement is that there is a geology summer program on offer, which takes 2 weeks and includes lectures, fieldwork, and lab training. The woman really likes this offer and is looking forward to taking part in the program. First, she says that she'll be able to try her experience in the field, which is a huge advantage. Also, she has already been told that the lectures there are more hands-on when you can see and actually touch ancient fossils. On top of that, you'll be given explanations by your professor regarding the place where the fossils are discovered. And she agrees with the male student that the work in the laboratory there differs from the one that they normally do at university. Finally, she adds that you'll see the map of the territory as well as various geological layers. So, for these reasons, she's really excited about the program for future geologists.
In this question, you will read a short passage on an academic subject and then listen to part of a lecture on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the lecture. After you hear the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Read the passage about number sense. You have 45 seconds to read the passage. Begin reading now. Now listen to part of a lecture in an early childhood education class.
Although we learn to count from an early age, learning to count is quite complicated. First, children need to learn the names of the numbers. They learn the numbers but often get the order wrong. Eventually, with much parental correction, children learn the numbers up to 20, but this doesn't really indicate an ability to count. Okay, so the next step is learning that each number can represent a real object, something in the real world. This notion takes time to perfect. So, if you watch young children trying to count a row of toys, you'll notice that they begin well, but after counting the first few toys, they say the number names without matching the number to a toy. See, perfecting the ability to match a number to an object occurs later in a child's development. Now, the final stage in learning to count is achieved when the child learns that the number name of the last object in the row can be attached to that row. In other words, if there's a row of, say, 12 objects, the number 12 represents not the final object, but the whole collection of objects, or the group of 12. This distinction is a significant step in the child's understanding of basic mathematics.
The professor explains how children learn to count. Explain how their learning to count is related to number sense. You may begin to prepare your response after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
The reading defines number sense as an ability to deal with numbers that's important for tackling complex problems and making math judgments. In addition, it is stated in the passage that the first step to developing number sense is a simple understanding how to sort, classify, and compare objects, and even preschool children already have some number sense. The lecture presents several stages how this sense develops in kids. First, they have to remember how to name figures. Even when they know the numbers up to 20, we can't yet say that they are really able to count. Second, children learn that numbers may represent objects, such as toys, for instance, and it actually takes time to practice this. Third, a kid has to realize that the number name of the final thing in a row may be attached to that particular row, which is a marked step to understanding basic math.
In this question, you will listen to part of a lecture. You will then be asked to summarize important information from the lecture. After you hear the question, you will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Listen to part of a lecture in an earth science class.
When metals are mined or processed, fine particles of dust from these metals are dispersed into the atmosphere. In the areas around mines and metal processing facilities, the accumulation of these metals is considerable. Other metals get into the ground through rusting and corrosion of discarded objects at landfill sites and automobile scrap yards. And, of course, metals emitted by traffic also contribute to soil contamination. These metals remain in the ground for many years and negatively affect microorganisms by reducing their ability to break down plant matter. This prevents the release of nutrients from dead plants, thus lowering the fertility of the soil. Small amounts of metals get washed out or taken up by plants, and this in itself can be a problem. But much of the accumulation stays almost indefinitely in the ground. Over time, metal concentrations contribute to the loss of soil productivity. Contaminated soil has no life in it, and crop yields fall as a result. The metal cadmium, in particular, has become a problem in many places, since this metal is one component of artificial fertilizers. Now, as a result of widespread use of fertilizers, cadmium levels have increased gradually in arable soils, and also in cereal crops. If the levels of this and other metals reach critical levels, they can enter the food chain and pose a health risk to humans. Okay, now for the good news. The good news is that methods do exist for improving poisoned soil. Experiments have been carried out which show that certain plants have the ability to take up lead and cadmium into their root systems, decreasing the levels in the soil and eventually leading to improved soil and crop productivity. Nevertheless, it is important that constant monitoring of affected soil is performed so that such pollutants can be treated to reduce the harm they do.
Using the information in the lecture, describe the ways metals enter the soil and the way the lecturer suggests removing them. You may begin to prepare your response after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
The lecture explains how different metals get into the soil, causing harm to its fertility, and may even pose a threat to people's health if reach critical levels. The professor covers several ways how metals accumulate in the ground. First, he says that there is a lot of metal around mines where metals are processed, cause their spread in the air in the form of dust. Then he mentions landfills and automobile scrapyards where objects rust and corrode. Also, metals from traffic contaminate the soil. On top of that, cadmium, for example, gets into the ground through the use of fertilizers. The lecturer states that in order to enhance contaminated soil, people can use some kinds of plants whose roots are able to absorb harmful metals, thus improving the productivity of the soil. Finally, he added that it's absolutely crucial to constantly monitor the bad soil. All right, so you actually made it, and I hope that you did it well. Remember, don't get discouraged. If something went wrong or you were not that confident, remember, practice makes it perfect. You can visit our website, losangelesenglishschool.com, and prepare for your TOEFL exam with Los Angeles English School. We have a very effective TOEFL preparation program. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. And I'll hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys!